Welcome back, everybody. This is Mike with Door and Lock Tips, and we're going to be talking about cam locks. I mean, I've got them coming out my eardrums over here. Now, I work in a lot of facilities, and the cabinet guy will put on these cam locks, and I think they think that's a good thing, because they're on just everything, right? Every cabinet you're going to cross in a hospital or any facility, you're going to see these cam locks, and I mean, they do hold, right? You can put valuables behind them. It takes about, to break this tail, it takes about 15 pounds, 20 pounds pressure. So you just pull on the door and they snap right off. So in a hospital situation, they asked me to take off all these cam locks and put on electronic cabinet locks in their place. Just because, the quality is so much better. You can't, the force is about 125 pounds pulling on the door versus these little tails that just bend. Now, I'm used to CompX brand, okay? So what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to take these little CompX locks apart. I've already started on it. I have every wafer kit known to man. And I'm going to let you know if it's profitable, okay? Even though I take them off immediately off a building, and I don't use them. I put electronic locks in place, just so you know that. You don't want to spend any money, and you want just a $5 lock on your cabinet doors or drawers. Cam locks are the way to fly. They're very inexpensive. You got one hole, you drill through and put a strike, or a slot. Some guys used to do slots. I highly suggest you don't do the slot for the tail, but. Is it profitable to rekey them? I see guys on the internet showing you how to rekey these things and pin them up and buy universal kits. I just bought this from UHS Hardware. I was watching another guy from another YouTube channel. He's really good. He's a nice young guy, and his dad's a locksmith, and they sell all the parts. I mean, that's what they do. They sell parts and pieces, and this is a ESP, okay? I didn't get it from him because I saved like 12 bucks. Got it from UHS Hardware. But this is supposed to be a universal little cam lock pinning kit, right? So these are wafers, and I can't get them to fit. I'll show you. So we're going to do an in-depth look and see if, universal kits and if it's valuable to repin cylinders. These are removable core cam locks. These are beauties, right? I do like these. These are on furniture. So let's take a closer look. And I want you to stay till the end, and I'll give you my idea if it's worth, repinning cam locks. So you can tell by the stress on my face, is it really profitable to repin cam locks? Well, we're going to find out. Please stay till the end, you guys. You're going to love this show. It's a little long, but you know what? It's going to be well worth it. So stay till the end. Okay, guys, we've got a closer look at the table. Now, I have been working all day to put this little video together so that it makes a little sense to you. So we have all the pinning kits. This is that ESP pinning kit. Cam locks have specific brands of pinning kits. Now this is a CompX brand, right? For my little cam locks that I've been using, these little CompX cam locks. And the wafers go in these little slots. So I've pushed them all out, and there's springs that go in the sides there. I just want to give you an overview right now. So you have the barrel that it slides in, and people have explained there's the notches inside that the little wafers, they engage and they won't allow the key to turn, right? I'm sure you've seen this, but I'll just explain a little better. But my thought here is it profitable to get this crazy and to buy all these pinning kits and actually pin up a cylinder. You know, these little wafer pins all go in there. Is it really worth your while, guys? Is it? You know, this thing is about $6. How long do you think you're going to spend just to pin this thing up? It's pretty crazy. I'm going to show you how. But, you know, they're all nice stuff if you just buy it all together. You know, pinning kits are great to have around. They look real pretty. I mean, that's beautiful inside there. It looks like jewelry. I do love it. Killer little springs. Look at this. This is a universal kit. I paid like $34, I think. Less than that, but I don't know. It's that ESP. It won't fit anything that I have. So I tried. I mic'd it. It's some universal thing, but it doesn't fit CompX. Oh, I'm sure they'll say, well, that's a special brand. No, it's not really. But, so, let's get a closer look now. And, oh, also, I called the companies, and I got all the bidding. So, for the TA, I've got the bidding for the keys. And that's kind of a secret. You know, don't tell anybody. But I figured out the depths on the cuts of the keys and how they mastered it. So I'll explain this a little in detail. But here's the bidding of all the different keys. The TA, like a 102. You've seen these, but you may have never had the bidding or even thought, hey, let's cut some keys to do this. You know, you just buy the cylinders with the 2 keys in them, and everything's cool because you know this is those removable plugs. So they come with a number on the side of the cylinder. This one is a 132 TA. So here's the 132. This is a TA, and that's the bitting, the cuts on the keys. So that little key is cut to 14414. So it starts at the shoulder and goes that way. So I'm really kind of holding it wrong. So that's how it works. You can kind of see it. If you're an avid person that cuts keys, you can see the cuts there. But how would you know this? How would you know that the bidding is a 14414? You got to call the factory. I mean, they were really sweet to me. Omar, he was a great guy. He told me the bidding, but, you know, you'd have to get it from him. So I highly suggest, you know, if you get CompX and you want the bidding, just call Omar. He'll help you out. So let's look a little deeper at this stuff. We're going to get a close-up look. Okay, first we'll start off with the little CompX Timberline removable cores. Now notice the little number there. This is a 102 TA. So they're master keyed. So that's why you need a specific pinning kit. You can't just use that ESP pinning kit. You know, this thing basically is worthless to me tonight. I can't use it on anything. I hope I didn't just mix them up, but I didn't. Anyway, so the pinning kit that you have to use is specific for CompX. So let me explain to you a little bit how. Well, first of all, we'll see how this works. So you have a key. The key is a 102T. And they're all keyed alike just for that 102. And notice the wafers, they're flat with the outside surface. So when you pull it out, they go out. See that? They go out, and then when you stick in your key, they're flush with the surface. So let's just show you what happens when I pull it in and out. So it's a nice little thing. I mean, you can't really break those things. You can cram a screwdriver down in there and snap them all off, but, you know, you got to work at it. So they're a decent little lock. And how this works, their claim to fame is, see those little tail piece on the inside there? Let me get something to show you. It's right down in here. So there's two little ears that stick out on each side. And how this works is this little sucker pops. See the two little ears on this side? It pops over those on the inside there. So you don't even need a key actually to do it. So now it's locked in. And let's just see if it works though. So these are decent little locks. They're on all the furniture you're going to run across in most places. Pretty much use CompX. I mean, there's Steelcraft and oh, there's all kinds of brand. Han makes stuff, but you know, CompX is huge. So that's how this works. Now, if you want to remove this core, you have to have a core key. And I've cut keys similar. I've tried to get around this key. But that keyway is very important. If you don't have these little milled slots, the way you know they've figured it to do this. Watch what happens. You turn the key, and you continue. Let's show you. You pull it, and it relieves itself. It goes around those little ears in there and pops off. And then you can put it right back on the same way. There's a little, you can feel it catch like that. So you know when you're locked in. So that's their claim to fame. And so let's say I wanted to rekey it today. Well, if you have more plugs in a different flavor, this one is a 132 TA. So this one you just stick in, right? And then it won't go in this way because the slots are not that direction. So you just pull your key out, push it on, you got it locked on. So there it is, and I never get these things right. Okay, there we are. Okay, and if I want to pull it off, I just take my removable core tool, special key, restricted keyway is what we call this, and I just turn it, and I've got it, I've rekeyed it. But let's say they want, I don't know, they want 100 of these 132 TAs. And you only have 10 on the truck, but they got to have them tonight. So what do? How do you come up with 100? Well, you might have real trouble, right? Let's say they say, well, okay, well, all we'll do is 20. You say, okay, I can make you 20, but they're not going to all be the same color. And they say, that's okay, we don't care. We want 20 of them little beauties. So here's what you do. You've got all these plugs that come in the pinning kit, which is kind of cool, right? But they're all empty. And there's no number on them, which is nice. So we're going to pin up a cylinder. I'm going to show you how you pin up a blank cylinder with nothing in it. Okay, it's completely empty. And you're going to see, is it profitable? Okay, so let's time ourselves now. We're going to get ready, get set, and we're going to go. Okay, now, first of all, you've got to understand the master key chart. So we're going to take it from the beginning. So how do you understand this master key chart? It gives you an example down here. Example 100 TA. The code is, well, we're going to call the code, that's the bidding. So it's 4-5, and it's all from the shoulder. So it starts from the shoulder of the key, which is right here. this little notch on each side. So the first cut right here, believe it or not, that's the first cut. So that's 0 or 1 is going to begin with this first number here, 4. So the first cut on the key on a 100 TA is 45255. Okay, then what do we do? What would you have done? If I wouldn't have blocked that off, and you read this, example it says. So you got the code, then you got the TA master code, and then you got the wafer. What in the world are they talking about? So Omar down at CompX told me the secret. Here's how it works. So we're gonna just assume we have a blank in the kit. We look at this paper. It was right here like this, and then on the back side you look at it and there was no pencils in here. And I looked at it and I thought, oh my goodness gracious, what am I gonna do? So here's what you do. You pick up the phone and you call Omar down at CompX, and he says nobody does this. In 2.5 years, nobody has taken the time to buy a pinning kit and repin these cores. So if you do this, you'll be one of the first ones in history that does it. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to do it if you're a locksmith, right? But you can buy this. I think this kit's 120 bucks. With all these blank cores. Now, I saw one on another website, CLK Supply, and it was like $55, but it didn't have half this stuff, and it was a knockoff. So you really want to buy the brand pinning kits, whatever they are. I don't care if they're wafer kits. I don't care if they're pin kits. Buy the brand that makes the lock, and you'll get the best pinning kit. So here we go. No delays now. You're going to see how hard this is. So first of all, these come with a little white spacer. See this little white spacer? It's between the wafers. So they don't have metal in there like most little cam locks. Most cam locks, if you look at it, there's metal between them. It's fixed and it doesn't come out. Wow, that's kind of important. So they wanted theirs to slide better, I guess. But man, did they make it tough. All right, so first of all, you got to get these little white wafers. And they are hard to mess with. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. So think about this really seriously if you want to mess around doing this kind of thing. But I'll show you how it's done. So you stick them in. Now, can you stick them upside down? You better believe it. And can you stick them the right direction or the wrong direction? Yes, you can. So see this little teeny tapered edge? That has to go in the right direction. So when you're looking at this, you got to stick it in to the left. Just like that. See the square here? And see the little, I don't know, man. These are really tough. But they stay in, okay? If you don't tip them over. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these in. All right, here we go. Let's see here. See, you got to get them straight. So you really need a tweezers. You grab them out of there. And this little indentation, that stays on the top. And the more narrower edge down here goes in first. All right. Okay, there we are. So we've got those 4 in there. So what's next? Well, I'll show you. You got to get the springs in. So here's all the springs, guys. Now, all these kits come with thousands of springs. You know, there's a reason for that. These little springs are like, I don't know, teeny. And so look how teeny these springs are. Let's see. Let's see if I can show it. Oh, I got to show you these springs. This is comical, really. All right. These springs are teeny, weeny. And so you got to put one of these springs on one side. Now, I don't know if you can see. It's kind of like a chamber. It's right. Got a spring in one hand. It's right here. See it? It's kind of a roundy. I guess it is roundy. There's one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. Okay, five springs. Now, all right. Now remember, we got to start at the shoulder. So I highly suggest you just put one spring in first. You stick them all in, and it just seems to all fly apart if you pop it wrong. All right, now, according to this, we're going to do a, by the way, we're going to do, well, there's no number on this, but we're going to do a 102 because I've already got it figured. So here's the math. Here's how this works. First of all, you got to get the bidding of the key. So a 102 is going to be this first bidding number. 102 is a 45252. That's the cuts on the keys. So our little idea here is going to be the bidding on the key is 45252. Because I called Omar and he said a number 2 key is 45252. All right, you put that at the top of the square. I got a little square piece of paper. That makes it easy. Now the second grouping of numbers is the master key for this entire ATA system. So this is the master key right here. And they give you the bidding for it. It's 41414. So you write 41414. Underneath this, it's going to be the letters now, 4 and a 4. So a 4 and a 4 is going to be that C wafer. So we write that down. That's the first wafer we're going to find. Now a 5 and a 1 is going to be right here, a B wafer. And then the next one is 2 and 4. So there we are. 2 and 4 is an E. And then a 5 and a 1 is right here. So 5 and a 1 is going to be a B right there. And then a 2 and a 4. 2 and a 4 is right here. It's an E. All right, we've arrived at the wafers. So here's our wafers right here. Here's our little cylinder. Here's our pinning kit. And we'll zoom out a little bit. Okay, now let's load this bad boy up. So first I've got the first spring in the first chamber, or the slot we'll call it. And it's going to be a C. So where is the C wafer? The C wafer is right here. So let's pop this back in. See how crazy this can get? Okay, the C wafer is right here. So we take that bad boy, the C wafer. It goes in the first slot. Now I want you to see the spring here. And you got to put the little arm over the spring because it pushes it up and down when it's in there. And then you pop it in. Hard to believe, from the factory, these cores that you get in the kit don't retain the wafers. Hard to believe. Wow, I just had to stop the camera and figure this thing out. I've never pinned up any of these just raw cores before out of this pinning kit. You're not going to believe this, but this core and all the rest of these cores, there is a slot that's right here on the other cores, a slot right here, and on the other side right here that holds this little wafer in. So when you pull this out, the wafer can't escape. And on these cores that you get from the factory, in a pinning kit from the factory, a rekeying kit, it doesn't have those slots. You can see I can pull a pin right out with my fingers. So if you run across a non-numbered cylinder on the Timberline locks, beware, because when you remove the core out of the lock, which is easy to do, I mean the pins are okay, right? But once you take the key out, these pins will blow right out of there. So prior knowledge is really good to have. Good thing I figured this out. I mean, I just spent 15 minutes pulling the pins out of this particular brand new core that's already numbered. So I have a lot of them that are numbered and the pins are all in them, no key. And how did they do it? Let's look really close. They crimped, they made a slot right here and on the opposite direction right here, and crimped in these little wafers so they won't come out. So this is not meant to take apart. Even though I can do it, I can pop this thing out of here. I'll show you how. So I can just pop it out. So it's out of there. And right on the edge right here, it's mashed down, and it's also on the other side. So you have this little line here. See those little teeny lines? If you look on my, the one I just pinned up, there's no lines. There's no lines on the side here. Wow. So when they crush this down right here, it holds these in. Wow, that's pretty sick. All right, so there's the difference between the two. See the little lines? See the lines on this one and nothing on there. Wow. Okay, so beware, if you don't see any numbers on the cylinder, the pins are going to fall out. Little wafers, right? Let's put it back together. Let's put this one. And the wafers are no different. These are factory wafers, so this is a factory kit. But let's just see when I do this. You actually have to force it down like I expected, right? Am I doing this backwards? Yeah, backwards. All right. Hear that click? That's what I expected on the other ones, but look at it, it's messing it up. It's quite literally not going to do that if I keep moving it in and out. This is bending out of the way. There's a little piece right there. It's bending out the way. Yep. So they took something and mashed it down. I do not have a tool to do that. So far, do you think it's a good idea to repin one of these things, put new wafers in, or even wafer up an existing cylinder? Think it's a good idea to do this? First of all, you can lose all the pins if you're not careful. So if you were doing a big job, you'd have to make sure these don't tip over and drop out. You'd have to cradle them some way. Probably something like that. And then maybe tape them down. Or you wouldn't want to tape them because wafers will come out. I don't know, you're going to have to be really careful. All right, so far that's the Timberline. So let's hope you made sense out of my master keying system, because I'll tell you what, that was insanely difficult. I had to call them, get these numbers. Then oh, I didn't even tell you about this. Okay, let's go here. All right, the key. All right, the key. We're going to just take this particular key. This key is a 113, okay? 113, can you see that? T, 113T. So let's find the bidding for the 113. And it's right. 113 is right there. So it's kind of simple. It's a 4 and a 5 and a 5 and a 5 and a 2. Everything CompX told you, the numbers are different than a standard cam lock. So you have to call them. Or, if you have enough keys like I did, you can cipher their keys and you can get their numbers, you know, all the depths of the keys. So really, a number 1 is 248 thousandths. That's a number 1. A number 2 is 228 thousandths. A number 3, not a 4. They say 4, but it's really a 3 in the cam lock world, is 208 thousandths, 208 thousandths. That's the number 3. And a number 4, they call it a 5, is 188 thousandths. So get ready to really test your brain cells out. And I cut a key just to see if it actually is that. And let's just test it. Yep, it works. 102. Nothing's sticking out. Of course, you don't want to turn this upside down now. So there's the key cut. And the key, it's an Ilko key. And the number is 1043J. You guys are familiar with that. Ilko makes them for the cam locks. So that's the standard cam lock key. 1043J or an IL11. That's the easy number right there. So you buy them by the box. But if I wouldn't have really transposed all their numbers and did a mic test with my beautiful veneer calipers, and tested out that key, I wouldn't have been able to get the right depths. And I couldn't have set up my key machine for it properly, just by going by the numbers they gave us. That's really interesting. Thanks a lot, CompX. So what do you think? You think if you've stayed to the end, I'll be honest with you, you don't want to pin up these things. For $5, I've spent an hour. I actually practiced all day with this. Because I had to get this paperwork together, right, just to figure it out. And, I'm going to put that in my book. I have an ITL book, and I have a killer key machine, and I'll keep it right there because that'll help me understand how to cut these keys. Hopefully this has been helpful to you guys. I gotta say, it's not going to be fun if you do this. If you buy all these pinning kits, I don't care how many you buy, it's not going to make you better. It's disgusting. I wish it wasn't as tough as it is, but these little wafers, I'd rather pin a cylinder any day with a little round pin and be done with it. And especially these, buy them from the factory done. Otherwise, look at the pins fall out, and you're gonna have to call our dear little friend Omar over at CompX, and you're gonna have to tell him, hey, I don't know the bidding on my cylinders to cut keys, and he'll give you that, and then you're gonna have to do this. Put this in your brain. This is how it has to be done. If you don't transpose these numbers, your key machine will not cut them properly. So there it is. Hope you enjoyed the show. Please tell your friends, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll have more door and lock tips coming your way. Thank you, guys. Buy them from the factory, guys. It'll save you a lot of trouble. Don't buy these pinning kits and do it yourself. It's terrible. I don't suggest it, and I'm a locksmith, so there you go. Ring the bell, tell your friends, subscribe. Thanks a lot, guys.